Hello everybody, Pyrojack here, and welcome to a new series I'm doing called Let's Talk About Games. We're going to start off today by going over Fate EXTELLA. Like I said in the previous video I uploaded, which was to start a new project, this is not the new project, obviously. But this one is just where I talk about games I enjoyed, and then I bring up what I want to talk about it, like what I disliked, and what they could have done to improve it. Think of it like an unprofessional review, per se. As of right now, you are seeing all the characters on screen. Until 17, but it's really 16 because there's a reskin at the very end called Super Venus, which is just a reskin of Nero. Now, what I also want to bring up right now is the combat you'll be seeing is basically a Dynasty Warriors game because they were created by Koei Tecmo, and Koei Tecmo is known for making the Dynasty Warriors series in a way. So games that they make like this all have Dynasty Warriors feel of combat. But I will bring up how the story works. The way the story works is based off the idea of the Nasu verse, and if you don't know, Nasu is the man who invented the Fate series and created the company Type Moon. The point of the Nasu verse is based off of what the anime and the mangas and the visual novels that this game was helped with creating through. There's 3 routes basically, and then you have like a special 4th one you can get after you beat the other 3. In this one you have the Flame Poem arc, you have the Orchid World arc, then you have the Dawn arc. And all 3 of them have their own endings unique to that specific route, or that specific universe. But then when you beat all of those, you get the final true ending called the Golden Poem arc, which is like the definitive ending to the story. And then, with the game, the combat is sort of, like I said, it's Dynasty Warriors, but then you also have, as you see on the screen, you have this little bar below your health. That bar is called the EXTELLA bar, or EXTELLA maneuvers. When it fills up, you hit circle and you can do a chain of attacks on a bunch of enemies in one go. And also on the screen, you saw four pictures on the top left of my screen. Those are for a code cast, and a code cast is technically what a mage wears, or spells that a mage could learn. And I have equipped on me healing, attack buff, frost, and a moon drive. A moon drive is, as you see here, a big power buff. But the 3 main servants, which is Nero Claudius, Tomonone, and basically Attila the Hun, but they just changed its name. They all have a moon drive, but only 2 of them actually changed their appearance, just Tomonone and Nero Claudius. They have an appearance and attack difference, unlike the other characters who just gets a glow off their body. And the way you fight in this game is you go from sector to sector, taking over sectors, and you see on the top of the screen there, you have basically an advantage. The blue is yours, the red is the enemy's. If the red one fills up, which is to get the regalia, or I don't really know what the term, I never really look. The regime matrix, there we go. If they fill up the regime matrix, you automatically lose the game. But if you fill it up, you have a chance. You have to go up against the boss servant of the mission. And what I'm collecting there is 3 pieces of my Noble Phantasm. As I'll now explain how this game works with the Fate series. Now, all the Fate universe stuff, anything from the Fate series that Type Moon has released, it's all canon, because of the whole term of the Nasu verse. This one is based off of a series called Fate Extra from the PSP. Fate Extra was, you're in a digital world, or in the Seraph as you are now, and it'll recreate school to fight in a Grail War that was a larger scale than any other Grail War, with over a few hundred participants, compared to 7. This takes place after your character won the Grail War and became the ruler of the Seraph. And then, of course, this whole event happens where um, the moon drive, if I'm correct, or whatever it was called. I don't really remember. Um, what happens is that that thing's gonna be attacking them soon, so they're preparing for a war, but they're already fighting another war with all the other characters, with the other servants. But other than that, I would say buy this game yourself, so I don't have to tell you about the story because it's really confusing for someone to talk about it. But over the span of the entire thing, you'll be fighting the same servants over and over again, but in different scenarios and locations. Because you can be fighting Nero in one area, but then another arc comes in, and then you can be fighting her in a totally different area than where it was before. And the way this game also works is that you have little side missions. The side missions are basically completely optional, except for one. One of them is required to do basically if you want to unlock a character. And also, the thing about this game here is that they also have encyclopedia. It'll tell you about their servant, the servant you selected, and it'll even tell you their skills. Like, for example, Gilgamesh. He has Golden Rule A. Golden Rule is a skill that allows him to attain an amount of wealth equal to the ranking without having to do any hard work. So if it's rank A, he can pretty much be the richest man alive without having to lift a finger. He also has a stat called Divinity, which only goes to godly characters, or people with godly powers in some way. With Gilgamesh, it's really just the ability for him to use his Gate of Babylon, which is where he can shoot all of his swords, as he's an archer class, and if you read the Legend of Gilgamesh, he never really swung his swords. He always shot them out or threw them at people. But it is an interesting thing to read about and how they decide to give these skills out. He also has another one called Charisma. I don't know what to explain what Charisma is, but his is a rank A. But those stats really don't mean anything in this game, as they're just there for character reasons, you know. But let's continue onward. The characters here, they all have costumes, which I didn't. You have to buy them, which I did buy a good chunk of them because it's only like $1 to buy one costume. Of course, I'm going to buy multiple, right? But and it's all only cosmetics. That's really it. So there's really nothing wrong with buying them. But the problem with this game as well is, now let's go to the problems and what they could have done. 16 servants. Apotheca was announced at this point the game was released. They could have thrown in more than Joan of Arc. They could have thrown in Mordred or Astolfo or Frankenstein. Even Vlad the Third they could have thrown into this game, but Joan of Arc's enough, I guess? I don't know. Time Moon could have done it better with more characters, because by the time that this footage was recorded, I was basically getting a little bit tired of playing the same characters over because I already picked out my favorites. The favorites are Alexander, Shiro, Cuckoo Clan, and Nero. They're my favorites. That's basically it. Out of 16 characters, those are the ones I played the most. That's kind of upsetting to some people that you do all this work. But I do give them props for at least putting in the popular ones. But with Artoria Pendragon, or King Arthur per se, she's always in the game. Like, that's the thing. But now, bringing up that side mission, but really you have to do to unlock a character, yeah. She's that character you had to do a side mission to unlock. The way it works is the side mission doesn't tell you what to do. You have to kind of learn it on your own, but it's not that hard. It was to go to a certain mission, get to a certain point in the story where a certain character or a certain boss character would show up. Go to an area while they're chasing after you, pick up 5 specific healing items, and then she'll appear. But then you have to beat her before you knock out Joan of Arc, which is the boss server of that mission. if you knock her out before you can beat Artoria, you have to do it all over again. That's not bad. It's not awful. It's not a bad thing to do. But when you tell nobody how to do it, it's gonna get frustrating. Like, I all thought about it was joking, like, oh, this is not real, this can't be real. But I did it and I was like, yeah, that's real. What the kid done to fix it really was make it simpler, make it go through an entire mission with a certain requirement filled, like don't pick up your noble phantasms, or go in with a really low level character, or something. Besides, go into an area to complete a certain mission, and by chance have all the healing items drop. Because you can probably lose the entire mission before that point. And another thing though is, when you do Noble Phantasm in this game, the characters' mouths don't move, even though in the Japanese version they actually do move. And another thing as well is, there's no subtitles for when they do the Noble Phantasms or anything. So when they're actually talking like some of the Noble Phantasms doing that, you don't know what it is. Like, sure, you know Excalibur and when the blade works. That's normal, because everyone knows them. But other ones, like Neoclysis, I don't really know what hers is, because it's like saying something. But I would know it if she actually would say it in the subtitles, if they have any. In fact, funnily enough, the Japanese trailers had subtitles for the English version. But nope. Really, I'm just gonna keep going a bit more because I still have some stuff to talk about. I'm just talking out of my head. So, what that is, like, all the character stats that you saw at the beginning of the video all do pertain to their character. As if someone has higher magic, they're gonna have a more EXTELLA gauge. If they have a higher endurance, their health's going to be a lot bigger. Or if their strength is high, they're going to have a lot more strength. Like, it's just like that. But it's interesting, though, how they actually were able to implement stuff like that into this game. But I've just been rambling this entire time, pretty much. I'll go over a few more things, and then I'll probably call it. But we'll see. With the character and their acting in this game, with the voices, pretty much spot on. If you were to actually watch the anime and listen to these voices, they don't always sound alike, but they do sound like they actually were trying, unlike some games. And also, if you're also wondering, but Fate Extra is not anime, it is. Fate Extra's anime, Fate Extra The Last Encore, is coming to Netflix sometime this year. I think it's going to be like mid this year, so yeah. That's good. Thumbs up to that. But, really, I have nothing really much more to talk about, just trying to sound interesting to you guys. So I guess I'll say something else for right now, is, I haven't really been interested in making videos much because every single time I try to make one, I just kind of get bored. The reason why I have projects I want to do, but then I cancel them, is because I get bored too easily, and then they don't sound interesting. Another thing is like the Servant video I was telling you guys about in the previous video. That's going to be my first ever scripted project, and I also really don't know how to really write a script very well. No problem with my thumbnails. I don't really have thumbnails, per se. So, that's why I'm also worried to bring out some videos, because they might show us spoiling the thumbnail and I don't have really control over it, as I don't go on my computer to fix things all the time, as my computer's not the best computer. So, yeah. So I just bring it up. Now let's get back to the topic until, you know, I keep repeating myself. Probably already have, like, several times. Can't blame me, though. I have a weird memory problem. Whatever. Onward! So, with this game, or with Fate EXTELLA, really. With it, sorry, give me 1 second. All of a sudden I had the thought and now it just left me. Give me 1 second. Okay, so, with the character designs, that's what I was going to bring up now. The Artori you are seeing is not the Artori from the game, it is the 99-cent costume for the Fate Stay Night model. Now, you really can't see it, but when the mission finishes, you'll see it. I wanted to bring up, they have characters that don't really appear anywhere else. Archimedes. He doesn't appear anywhere besides here. This is the only game he really shows up in. Who else only shows up here? Also, Attila. She appears here in Fate Grand Order, so does Archimedes, but Fate Grand Order was a distant thought at this point. Which, by the way, if you're looking for a nice app to play and you got a ton of room on your phone, Grand Order. I recommend it. That's my recommendation for you guys. Take my idea with a grain of salt because it's a velocity in your phone. But if you got a lot of space, go for it. Yeah, I just keep interrupting myself here. That's the thing. I ramble too much and I want to bring up some new topic for a few seconds to refresh my memory. So, as you saw there, we have done it. We have completed the regime matrix, and now you will see what I mean here also. Interesting thing about the map. I know I'm jumping because I don't have a script, so I just bring up whatever I remember. The map, if you're looking, has little blacked out icons next to certain areas. Those are interesting because those are traps that if you own the area, the trap doesn't affect you. So, if it doesn't affect you, you can just walk in. But if it does affect you, you're going to need a code cast, like the frost one I got right there with the frost symbol with the X on it. That negates frost damage, or a frost trap. Which is rather interesting in my opinion, because that means that there have at least some strategy behind your character's build. And then you have another thing called insta-skills, which are things you can equip to your servant at all times. But I always pick, and some people laugh at it whenever I say it, is nothing but attack, movement speed for slow characters, and experience gain. Like higher experience gain to level them up faster, as my level is right down there with level 33 Artoria. Oh yeah, another game from the mechanic I forgot to bring up, my bad, is, well that, you can actually do normal fan times for people. Which is actually interesting because some missions don't have all three out in the open world. And when that happens, you have to go beat the boss to stop her. See? Lift's not moving. I said so. They don't move. What I was saying was, there's this bar below Artori's EXTELLA gauge. Did you see that little yellow bar draining? It'll be right back. That bar, right there. That is called upgraded moves. It's really just a bar, just something you can do temporarily if you have no moon drive active, like the top bar above my health bar. That's the moon drive skill gauge. If that's empty or it's near emptiness, you can. And I got killed. Okay. Mind you, this is after the recorded the footage here. Command seals. Something I'll bring up after this. Thank you, game. Command seals work in the way of. Well, actually, yeah. After I say what I was gonna say is the upgraded moves. They recharge very quick because they do some extra damage to your attacks, or they change the appearance of some attacks. With command seals, or command spells, the Japanese like to say, the game has an infinite amount, but you only have 3 per mission. But after every mission, they replenish, even in story mode. Just replenishes. There's nothing else to talk about, so I'll pretty much end the voice recording here and let the mission here play out for a bit longer. I'm not going to let it play the entire mission. This is a very long one, but I'll probably let it play for another few minutes. Oh, by the way, the next Let's Talk About series will either be Bioshock, Dead Island, or Dark Souls. One of those three, and I'd like to know in the comments below which one you think would be better. Because Bioshock, I think I can actually record gameplay footage. If not, then I'll put different game footage over it. But just if this is not Bioshock, and I'll just talk about Bioshock. But I'm going to also tell you here, for a rule though is I won't spoil the story of, or the endings, really, of, you know, the games. I don't want to do that. I'm not like that. So, I'll let this continue for a few more minutes. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop recording my voice. You guys can enjoy it for another 2 minutes. That should be enough time to watch this character, which probably this is Shiro. This should be enough time to watch him in action. Have fun. Lovely day. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. But if you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. I don't want to force it upon you guys. I just want to give you the suggestion right there. Alright. Lovely day, everybody. Goodbye.
良い働きだ。褒めてやろう。よし、こんなところか。少しずつ領土を増やすとしよう。よし、こんなところか。少しずつ領土を増やすとしよう。味方が攻撃にさらされているな。心して挑むがよい。世の戦は波ではないぞ。味方が押されている。このままではまずいぞ。見事達成です、マスター。弾も感激しました。さすがですね、征服王。全セクターの制圧も間近でしょうか。まだまだ行くぞ。トレースイマージュライナー。3体撃破ときたか。もはや敵なしだな。いいぞ、乗ってきたなマスター。まったく忙しい。自陣に急ぐぞマスター。行くぞ。骨があるではないか。どれ、もう少し殴り合うか。逃がさん。ここからよ。突き破る。逃がさん。切りたわい。突き破る。ガラ空きだ。ここからだ。逃がさん。突き破りたわい。ここからよ。たまらんの。 ダメージが大きいな。慎重に行こうマスター。